We're going to talk more about all of this with James Andre now, who joins me on the set. James, it does still seem like there is a lot of confusion on what exactly is happening in regard to this ceasefire that was announced by Donald Trump just a few hours ago.
Well, absolutely. The thing is, we don't have the exact parameters of this ceasefire. We don't know what's been agreed upon exactly. And what we are seeing is, both sides trading blame. Indeed, Tehran and Iran fired a missile into Israel. We've just seen that. Catherine Norris-Trent is right there. But then on the other hand, there's also been a direct hit onto Tehran this morning that killed 9 people. But it's not unusual if you follow conflicts such as this one that, in the last hours before a ceasefire it's actually implemented, both sides try to, deal a last blow to the adversary. So now the big question mark is what will happen now. We are seeing part of the hardline part of the Israeli government vowing, retribution for that last attack. We saw Bezalel Smotrich just like a few, maybe an hour ago saying that he wanted to see Tehran shake. We saw Israel Katz vowing to fire more missiles into Iran. I'd say that right now, it's a very shaky moment. It's a moment where we will see if both parties actually stop. Everybody could stop right now, and everybody could claim a form of victory, at least save face, which is obviously always a very important thing when it comes to the ending this type of conflict, which is now known as the War of 12 Days. Well, I have to see if it does stop at 12 days or if it carries on. But right now, if everyone just stops, Israel can claim and claims that it's destroyed the two, as Prime Minister Netanyahu put it, existential threats to Israel, that is the ballistic program and the nuclear program. The United States will have participated in that operation, but also cut off before being accused of trying to change the regime. And as for Iran, well, they will say that they hit and struck back and defended the Iranian people. So everybody can walk away right now and things will be pretty calm. Of course, there are question marks as to, for example, the whereabouts of the 400 kilograms of near weapons-grade uranium that Iran has produced and that the IAEA says exists.
Another question is in regard to the U.S. and Donald Trump. I mean, what do you think his real objective is here? Was it just to go in, help Israel and leave? Or, as we were speaking about in the past day or two, does he push for regime change in Iran?
Well, look, it appeared until yesterday that indeed regime change was on the cards. Israel has been quite clear about its intentions. That was one of the objectives quite clearly. I mean, Benjamin Netanyahu even went as far as to record a message for the Iranian people saying that the regime was indeed very weak and that it was a great time to basically topple it. We've seen yesterday there was a strike on Evin prison. Evin prison is a big symbol. It's, the gate was destroyed with a message, if you will, from the Israelis to say, right, the opposition is now free to take the government down. Right. This was yesterday. Today, it appeared what happened in the night is that basically Donald Trump decided to end this. And the big question mark, obviously, we don't know what happened behind closed doors. But, there is a real possibility that Donald Trump was, in a sense, strong-armed by Benjamin Netanyahu into this strike onto Iran. Basically, Israel attacked. And if you remember, at the very first place, 12 days ago, in the very first place, the Trump administration reacted with Marco Rubio saying, look, we have nothing to do with this. This was not our attack, etc. And then obviously the United States aligned with Israel, which culminated in the fact that they used, the MOPS, these very heavy 30,000-pound bombs to blast the Iranian nuclear sites. But now it appears that Donald Trump, who's trying also to keep leadership, has decided to make it very public that he was the one to stop this war. And this is what happened with these social media posts this morning.
And just very briefly, James, I mean, given that if the U.S. does now want to step away from all of this, what would be next for Iran and Israel?
Well, Israel we'll have to see if Israel decides to, fire more missiles into Iran. I mean, the ball very much is in Israel's court. You can't really imagine that Iran would want to carry this war that they didn't start on. I mean, capacities have been degraded in a very, very large way. When it comes to Israel, yes, we're hearing some pretty bellicose rhetoric from some of the hardliners, but will this stop now? If it does stop now, well, Israel will walk away with the prize, which is having neutralized this nuclear threat onto the country and really degraded over the past few months all of Iran's capacities. Hezbollah is now off the map. The Assad regime is off the map. the Houthi for now are, not attacking at least U.S. ships, and Iran has just taken a very severe hit. All the military bases in Iran have been hit. The nuclear program is in tatters. So they could stop here and consider that, yes, the enemy is really reduced. When it comes to Iran, it's a more complex equation. The regime is going to have to try and hang on to power. It's true that this could lead to a political crisis in the country, and it very probably will, because indeed Iran has taken a military blow. Around 500 people have been killed. This is the figure that was given by the Iranian government. They say, they don't want to give an exact figure, and obviously that is a pretty high death toll. So question mark is now, where does Iranian society go from here? Nuclear program's over, and obviously the regime seems very weakened at this stage.
James, thank you for